Oh wait, no. Okay.
Got it.
I got it. Yeah, I'm looking at it from my page. My page 99 and hey, welcome to the award-winning 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl, broadcasting you live from Fishbowl Studios here in beautiful Bedford, Texas. We are powered by the OBBM Network and brought to you by Glenn Lawson Law Injury Attorneys.
The Wolf Pack.
And the Wolf Pack, Biker Wolf Pack. You know, if you are involved in an accident where you sustain an injury, give Glenn Lawson a call. They are lawyers with compassion, and they are experienced. Their whole team is experienced in a variety of motorcycle, vehicle, slip, trip, and falls. So give Glenn Larson a call, man. What's going on, Pitbull?
I'm still recovering from Sunday.
Sunday. Woo! Man, Ange, anything to add for Sunday? Anything to add in on what happened on Sunday? The Super Bowl?
Oh, it was great.
You were Philly? Philly fan?
Nah, I mean, I'm not really a fan of either.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
I was hoping Pat Mahomes would, get the 3 P.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I think everybody was hoping that he would get that, the trifecta.
I think we dodged a bullet though because the stars were aligned trying to tell Kels not to propose to Taylor Swift. So
yeah. Everybody booed her, man. They put the picture on her and they booed her. It was great.
She's like,
it was
what's
great.
going on?
You knocked at her right off the high horse, man. Woo!
That was fun.
But what a game! I got to tell you, KC
really.
didn't show up.
No.
They, I don't know what they were thinking, but they did not show up. I'm not an Eagles fan, but you know what? They brought it. They deserved the win.
They did.
But I had about 50 people at my house. I know you had about 30, 40 at your house.
Probably about 20, 30, yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about your party, man.
Oh, a bunch of shenanigans. Bunch of shenanigans.
No alcohol involved?
What? We had a bar in our house. Everybody came over about 2 o'clock. So a lot of pregame.
Yep. Same here.
And then the mini bike got broken out.
I saw the video of the mini bike, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a YouTube video.
It's either a good decision or a bad decision.
Oh, poor choices. Choices.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I didn't get on it, though. But yeah. So the mini bike was out. It was a good time.
I saw one of your videos that you posted on your page that is you came outside and your neighbors were like way down the block, and they got out of the car and they were already hyped up, man. I'm like, oh, that's going to be a mess at Pitbull's house, man.
Those are my girls. We call ourselves the flock.
The flock.
Because we all actually have little bird tattoos that we represent. We're the flock. We all soar together. And
all right.
Yeah, there's a TikTok.
D La La is on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what's up, D? She was a big. She came over to our Super Bowl party. Her and Cool Pappy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Lori. I saw Lori over there. One of my buddies. Both of the buddies were there.
Yours.
3 of the buddies. No, your place.
Mine. Oh, Lonnie.
Yes,
Lonnie and Sheila were over. Yeah. So I had a house full of Bettys.
You did. You had more buddies at your place than at mine. I had Mindy over at mine.
You had Mindy over yours. Ours was. I mean, we had a ton of food. Everybody brought some great food, and kudos to Cuffs from the Thin Blue Line. She came over. She made this. She handmade these different breads.
What?
Who's
got that time?
She does, because it was. I tell you, the bread she made was amazing. It was really good. But we had a lot of good. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of good time. I mean, we just kept cooking and drinking and cooking and drinking.
Just kept cooking and drinking.
I didn't go to
But I
work. Didn't go to work Monday.
I don't think a lot of people did.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people came down with a cold that day.
Oh man.
Yeah. But it was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
A lot of food. And I think it was like 10:30. It was done. And then everybody left. And then we all went to bed. We didn't have the after party because everybody was there till like, early in the morning.
No,
or early in the day.
I think I ended up passing out at one point. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was sitting in my backyard, man. I was just like, and I'm sure everybody relates to this, right? Because it's Super Bowl and you just wound up. If you're throwing a party, you're not really watching the game, so you're running around making sure everybody's doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's calling you in different directions, right? And then at the end of the night, man, I was just like, oh. I sat in the back and I was drinking some Crowns, and that was it, man. It was good night, Irene. But woo. But
Have the whole next day to recover.
yeah. Well,
Well,
congratulations
till
to the Eagles, man. Great win.
I can't say that.
Hey,
Congratulations.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I was wearing my Jets jersey, and my guys were playing golf with the Cowboys. So,
Yeah.
But I hope everybody had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. We have so much stuff with Valentine's Day coming up. Show your shirt.
It's Valentine's, but I'm dead inside. Yay.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
That's really nice. Black heart.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah.
Hey, if you just tuning in, man, give us a comment, drop a share, drop a like, but tell us how your Super Bowl party was. Put it in the comments section and let us know, man. What did you do? How many people? Did anything get crazy? We want to talk about it. We want to share your story as well. We got a great show. We got a great show today, man.
We do.
We got amazing guests coming in. We got Gilbert Cashion. As seen, he plays on The Chosen. But he's also a faith-based mentor for men, and he just does amazing things through his community. Then we got TK Tim with the celebrity softball and Verve. He is coming in because he is him and Gilbert have a great relationship back to football college days.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know Gilbert was such an amazing football player. He was like a first-round draft pick.
Really?
Yeah. Damn,
him.
yeah. So we got a lot to talk about coming up at the 3:30 hour. But what do you got coming up this week? Anything?
This week?
Anything?
Just Valentine's. Then we have our Galentines. Me and my girls are going out on Sunday for our Galentines. And also, if you guys are near the black old Harley Davidson, I want to shout out to my girl Cha Cha Baby. She is going to be competing in the, I think it's Pinups and Pipes is what they're calling it, pinup contest at Harley Davidson, black and gold at noon. She needs y'all's crowd to, I think 50% of the vote is the crowd. So go out there and support my girl, Cha Cha Baby. She's one of the Bettys. She's amazing. She's my spicy Betty.
She is. She is full of spice.
And that was actually the first place that I did my first ever.
Black and gold?
Yeah. I got best in show.
Best in show.
Best in show. I always have to do
Wow.
best in show. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Just a recap of last week too. Hops and Props, man. That's coming up April 26th, man. Mark it on your calendar because that is an event you do not want to miss.
All my craft beer people.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
And history buffs. It's a huge history buff thing. And you got a beer festival in the middle of it.
Plus, you bring the kids. You let the kids run
you
around.
brought the grandkids. I had my kids
Yeah,
there. It was fun. My kids. My kid.
Your kid.
One kid. Well, I guess Springer was there, so and he had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday, Springer! Oh, well, on the 99, we have to sing it to Springer. We have to sing it. It's
sing
tradition.
It for him yesterday.
You did? Did you get him a cake?
Well, he had the Super Bowl party, so there was cake.
Oh, so you did absolutely nothing for him.
We went and had some day drinks at the pizza place near our house. If you really need to know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, Springer, on behalf of me, we're going to sing Happy Birthday. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Springer. Happy birthday to you. See, and that's why we're on the radio and we are not on a stage singing.
Exactly.
That is it.
I think we just lost a few viewers.
Want to send out some healing prayers to Lori Montoya from Biking Down. She just got back to Colorado from her trip in Vegas, and she got when she got back to Colorado, it was just a snowstorm, cold, windy, and she caught herself a bug. So she's not going to be joining us today, but we will have the monologue at the end of the show. That you do not want to miss. He's got some good stuff coming up. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to play a little Glenn Larson, and then we'll be back right after this.
What we believe in at Glenn Larson Law is doing one thing and doing it really well. When I meet people, I always tell them we're going to uncover every single rock possible. That's the medical component, that's your story, and your voice.
We've solely focused on personal injury, whether that be a slip and fall accident or a commercial 18-wheeler, a motorcycle or DWI, motor vehicle accident. We specialize in that and that only.
When someone says, my neck really hurts, I know exactly how that feels. There's so much more to an injury case dealing with the pain level that people go through and how it affects their lives. And I know how to advocate to make sure that the insurance companies take all of that in consideration in every case.
We're very transparent and open to always keep them informed and stay on top of their case at all times.
Because we're a little bit smaller in team numbers, we're able to really dive into every single case and develop not only a client relationship, but a friendship and a lifelong connection.
We're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We'll meet you anywhere, at the scene, in the hospital, at your home. Whatever's best for the client, we will do every single time.
There is a connection component that I believe our firm is committed to. We want to be connected with you and your family beyond this case so that you know that you have a lifelong partner. Not just a case, but a lifelong connection and a lifelong voice. And we look forward to serving you.
Welcome back to the 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. Man, that was Glenn Larson Law Accident Injury Attorneys. I don't know if it's accident injury attorneys or just injury. I think it's injury attorneys.
It's the
Injury
Wolfpack.
attorneys. Yeah.
They got your back.
They got
It's
your
the
back. Let me just get this back up here so I can see your comments and
Yes,
your
comment,
concerns.
star, like our thing, share, follow, all
Yeah,
the things.
you know, I was on the other page and I didn't get to see it, and I see Gordon Melton's on here. Gordon Melton, with Hunting with Soldiers, he, check him out on his page because he runs these auctions to help our veterans every week. And it's so cool to get involved in it. Your mom's on. We're going to start calling you Mastiff instead of Poodles. We're going to start calling you Mastiff.
Doberman.
Or Doberman, Hazel Lee, thanks for tuning in. And our guests have just arrived to studio, so we're going to be bringing them in a little bit because, both of them have such unique stories, and we can go on and on forever talking to them about
Let them tell you.
We're going to let them tell you, yeah, because one, that celebrity softball tournament that is coming up is
April, right?
No, it's
So
in
when is that?
October. But right now they're looking for sponsors. They're looking for
All the
any
things.
corporations that want to buy a block of tickets and sponsor and bring their whole business group out there. It's a lot of fun, man. Have you ever gone?
I have not. I had missed it last year, but I'm definitely
This year,
I'm
yeah,
definitely going
yeah.
this year.
Yep.
I've heard so many fun things about it.
It is because even though the game is supposed to be serious, there's a
It's
lot of
softball.
there's a lot of
It's-
antics that happen.
yeah.
There's a lot of good things that happen
I used to
out
play
on
softball back in the day.
Did you
I was a fast pitch pitcher,
really?
first base, center field, and shortstop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at
can't-
those
can't
things
do-
I don't even know about you. Wow.
Played
Wow.
basketball and all that stuff.
Well, basketball. Look how
I
tall
know.
you are. Look how tall you are.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Just put my hands up. Yeah. I couldn't do any of that now.
You're-
I'm so
you're
out
pickled.
of shape. It's not even funny.
and a little pickled.
Yeah, my arm gets sore. Put my clothes away in the morning. Hanger. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
So tell me what's going on with the Battling Betties, man. Anything good coming up besides the pinup contest?
Yes, let me pull up our flyer. I'm going to share this too. It's coming up in March. It's Rosie the Riveter month. We're going to be hosting and helping out with the Rosie the Riveter Garden at the Fort Worth AV. Let me find out. I'm going to say the wrong one because I got hops and props in my head.
Right. And that's at the Hops and Props is at the Fort Worth
Yeah.
Aviation Museum.
So donations, you get a pancake breakfast. I know that's part of it. And then the money's going to the garden to help get the garden back up for the Rosie the Riveter and the memorials and stuff for the veterans. Let me find you. Put me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to give a big shout out because we do. One thing about the 99 is we like to cross promote and make a difference. And Johnny Rizzo and Motorcycle Mayhem out in New York, I want to give a big shout out. He just got on another rock radio station.
Yeah.
Rock.
See?
Rock and Rage Radio. Yeah. And he's doing some great things. He is in the UK. He is all over the place. So I want to give a big shout out to Johnny Rizzo and even Dawn. Dawn's got some tickets available still left for the Islander Ranger game, and that all supports breast cancer. All the money raised goes to breast cancer. So Road for a Cure. So that's something.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's March 22nd.
Pancake flying.
Pancakes flying in. Vintage Flying Museum is where the Rosie the River Garden is. So 8 to 11 a.m. Donations for pancake breakfast, and just come out and enjoy the vintage planes and everything. I'll post more details as it gets closer because everything's kind of getting ironed out and everything. But yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good cause.
That's cool. That's cool. And that's what we got to do. We got to support our veterans. We got to support our first responders. Prayers to the first responders that we lost over the past week. I'm sorry I don't have the memorial set up yet, but it was a crazy weekend, and things just got a little hectic. But all our hearts and our prayers and thoughts go out to all of our first responders who made the ultimate sacrifice into their families. We lost. I know Las Vegas just lost a deputy out there, and it's hopefully this country is going to turn around soon, and we're going to get back on track. And what do you think about this Elon Musk, man, finding $87 million or trillion dollars that was wasted by the government over all these years?
If it's there, I mean, the facts are out there. I mean, people are getting, I see people getting mad about certain things, and I'm also like, yeah, but look at all the waste. But they're saving them money.
Look at all the waste. They were showing.
I think a lot of things are getting uncovered, and that's why people are getting angry.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When somebody goes into politics, like this AOC, she goes into politics. She was a bartender, right? I'm sure she went into politics with some good intentions, but then, when you have zero money in your bank account, and then 5 years later you got like all these millions and millions of dollars on a $175,000 salary, how does that happen? I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta open your eyes, because how do these politicians, either they are doing stuff in the stock market, I mean, they can't all be stock market geniuses. They got to be getting the money from somewhere, or these tips from somewhere, or kickbacks or whatever. But how do you become a millionaire in 3 years, 4 years on that kind of salary? I want that job.
I want that job. What do you think about the press secretary, Caroline? I think
she's got balls, man.
Awesome.
You know what?
I think she's so fun to watch.
She is great.
She's like,
yep. She's one of the youngest press secretaries out there ever, and
her battle with the View and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I think she puts the View right in its place.
Yep.
But she's one thing I like about her is that she has the answers. She's being straightforward. Nope. She's being transparent. She's being straightforward, and she's being diplomatic to both sides.
Yeah.
To both sides, she is being
matter of fact. It's not an emotional response. It's a matter of fact response.
Yep.
That's what I like. The last one I was like, what is she saying? What are we? No, absolutely nothing was answered.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
You know what? The one thing this term sticks in my head, that circle back term, when she's like, we'll circle back to that. We'll circle back to that. We'll circle back to that. No, give me an answer. I don't want to circle back.
Yeah, that's why you're here. This is your job.
Right. Now at least we got a press secretary that is going to stand tall, answer questions honestly, and to what she knows, to what her classification. And
she's quick.
She's quick, man. they also are releasing the JFK files. Did you
I
see that?
know. Yeah.
And there was a little teaser because it's like whoever was looking through the archives or whatever said there were 2 shooters. There were 2 shooters. So those conspiracy theorists were right, man. There were 2 shooters, but they didn't, and everybody speculated that it was a CIA or anybody within our government that ended up whacking them. But
yeah, I haven't seen the actual report since it's come out, but I knew they were doing it. I knew they were opening it up.
They're gonna
releasing it.
They're gonna release that. They're gonna release the Martin Luther King.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
we can find whoever's accountable for that. The truth, and that's what it's all about, man. The truth. If you could tell it, hey, President Trump, if you could tell us where Jimmy Hoffa is buried, then I'm gonna. Woo, that would be pretty cool.
And where's Tupac?
You think Tupac's alive somewhere? I don't know, man.
No.
No.
But I mean, if the rumors are true, I don't know. Bring me back Tupac.
Hey, put it in the comments. What are your thoughts? Do you think releasing these documents is a good thing, unredacted, man? And telling our politicians, on both sides of the aisle that we're corrupt. This is not the way to treat America. Accountability. And I see all these friggin' real left wing congresmen like what's her name?
I'm bad at this game.
Yeah, I know. I forgot her name. I don't even want to say names.
Chick.
But they are just crazy, because they're the ones that wanted to, hire all these 87,000 IRS agents. They wanted to hire 87,000 IRS agents to audit you, to come after you and come after the blue collar and the hard-working class citizen. But now that we're going after them, now they got somebody going after them and auditing their books. They're like, oh, no, don't touch me.
All kinds of things.
Yeah, don't look into my closet,
right. Yep, finding all kinds of things. It's interesting. I'm sitting with my popcorn. I'm just watching what's unfolding.
I think, like them or don't, hate them, call him an orange man, call him whatever. But
that's what the people voted for.
I think he's he is gonna drain the swamp. You know what? He's not gonna hurt the American people. He's not gonna hurt the hardworking American people. He is gonna hurt those who are stealing from the hardworking American people.
And lying about it.
And getting rich.
Yeah, they put on the screen. Oh, we're here for you to help you.
Yeah,
they're pocketing it all.
They're pocketing it all.
And you got states like that are in distress that aren't getting any funding.
Yeah, North Carolina still trying to reel from the hurricanes. We got the people in California that now it's going to take like 10 or 12 years for them to even get back on their feet because there's so many obstacles and hoops they got to jump through for permits and everything else. And these are people that are hardworking, going out there every day, trying to make a living. And now, like with FEMA should be on the spot. It shouldn't take them a week. And then they're saying that FEMA's, worried about immigrants and, these hotels and stuff. Why aren't we taking care of our American people first? Hey, listen, take care of everybody. I don't care.
Yeah, and in
as
a
long as we got
situation, take care
as
of
long as we got the
everybody.
money, take care of everybody. But the American people should be first in line all the time. No, you know what? And if there's not enough for anybody else, too bad.
What did they say in elementary school? If you don't have enough to share with everybody, you can't share it at all.
Well, they say it on the airlines too. Yeah. Hey, the mask goes on you first, right? That oxygen mask goes on you first.
Then save the child.
Then save the child.
Yeah. They're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. All right, what do you say we bring in our guests?
I say we should.
All right, let's play a little Southbound. Let's play a little Southbound 75. Roll into where the rubber meets the road, and when we get back, we're gonna have our guests on. So stay tuned. Right after this.
Too hot to work outside, but we're doing it anyway. No shade to run and hide, cause we all got bills to pay. When you're working 9 to 5, there ain't much room for dreams. There's just the price of rice when you got small mouths to feed. Yeah, we're running out of breath, running out of time. be at home, but I can't afford to leave. This ain't what my daddy says this country is supposed to be. Live right and love your wife and live the American dream. Yeah, we're running out of breath, we're running out of time, and it's getting the best of me. We're running out of luck, yeah, we're running on empty. Yeah, we're running out of breath, running out of time. It's wasting the best of me. Yeah. We're running out of luck. Yeah, we're running on empty. Yeah, we're running out of breath, we're running out of time, and it's getting the best of me. We're running out of luck. Yeah, we're running on empty.
Hey, welcome back to the award-winning 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl, where the rubber meets the road is where we can make a difference together, man. And I got two guys whose rubber is definitely on the road constantly, each and every day, you know, making a difference in their communities throughout Texas. I want to welcome TK back to the show and
Always good to be
Gilbert,
here.
man.
Hello.
Welcome, guys.
GC.
You know, you two gentlemen are definitely an inspiration to so many different genres when you think about it. With the celebrity softball and the mentoring programs, you know, all faith-based for their faith, right? So and it's inspiration. And when so many people are having a hard time in life, if we lose our why, if we lose our direction in life, and that's when we start spiraling down the rabbit hole, you know. And you two gentlemen bring people out of that with the celebrity softball. So many veterans I seen there that have probably battled, and they were all had these great smiles on their face.
Oh, yeah.
The connection and network.
Yeah.
Right. What does that do for you?
Well, it gets me motivated to keep doing it because honestly,
It's your fuel.
yeah, after literally when it's over about a week later after the event, I'm always like, I think that's it. And then you start hearing stories and people start calling, and you're kind of like, okay, well, we can't stop it now. So just again, too many people depend on it. Really,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. On my last show on Badge of Honor this past Monday, we had Pam Barrigan
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. And did you see her new movie that she put
I haven't
out?
seen it yet.
She put out a short regarding post-traumatic stress. It's her life. It's her
Mm-hmm.
story. Very powerful. Go to 2200taps.com
Mm-hmm.
and you can check out that short. It's about 28 minutes long, but real powerful. I mean, it definitely impacts you, and it's something that we've all gone through in one way or another, because we all face life's challenges in different ways. Our resiliencies are different, and the way we cope, our coping mechanisms, some just aren't the same. So these two gentlemen bring different aspects, and there's always a way out. You're never alone in your fight when you walk out that door.
That's right.
You know, Gilbert, you do the mentoring programs. Tell us a little bit about how you got yourself involved in that.
So I basically just modeled the way. I never really asked to be a mentor or a discipler. I just live my life the way that I think I should, based on biblical principles, and then men will actually come up to me and say, "Hey, like, will you mentor me? Like, I want to learn from you. I see the things that you're doing. I see how you live your life, and I want to start living my life a lot of the same way." And so they'll ask me to mentor them, and then mentorship leads to discipleship, and then life change happens through that process.
I love it.
Yeah. You know, when you find, and a lot of people don't even want to say this, and a lot of people are embarrassed at, you know, when you find Jesus Christ in your life, you find God in your life, you find that, you know,
Peace.
it
Yeah,
really,
100%. That's what it is.
Huh?
Yeah.
Straight peace.
Peace.
it changes you, and you know, believe it or not, it takes away a lot of the weight that's on your shoulders, and because you know,
You're giving it to God.
Absolutely.
right.
Look at me being all out.
Look at
Yeah,
you.
look at you being all.
There you go.
Surprise myself.
You need to start discipling people. Look at
Oh, I need to disciple myself first.
that. Start off with yourself.
Yeah, I
and
need to
then
work on
your way
myself
out.
first.
No, I'm with you, because I was never really, you know, I've never really, I was brought up in a Roman Catholic church, so really pushed me away from the church, because you know you
It
go to the Roman.
shoves- when you're a kid, it's like you feel like it's forced on you because you're a kid, and you're like, I don't want to go to church again.
Well, it's not only that, you can't understand a word that they're saying.
Sit, kneel, stand. Sit, kneel, stand. You get a little snack and a little sip of wine, then you sit and steal.
You go to church and
Then you go to brunch.
Is that how yours worked?
Yeah, I got rewarded by a Happy Meal afterwards.
But
And then boarding school.
I came here to Texas. And there's a Baptist church right across the street from me, and we said, you know what, let's take a walk there on a Sunday morning. We walked over there, and the pastor came out in a Rangers jersey,
Nice.
and it was so comfortable, and the way he spoke, he didn't preach, he spoke, and you felt that, because it wasn't like he was telling you things, what you should and shouldn't do. He was saying that it was okay that mistakes are made, identify them,
yeah.
and just move on.
They tell stories that everybody seems to relate to.
Yeah,
And it seems like every time I've gone, and no, I haven't gone as much as I'm supposed to. But when I do, you know, you always feel really good afterwards, and it's surprising, like how what they're saying is resonating with everybody in there, because everybody's going through something at that time, but yet that scripture is helping everybody out with every little different piece of struggle. I don't want to say struggle, but things that are going on in their life, guidance. You know, it all seems to make sense a little bit more afterwards.
You've got Mark Mitchell on, and I think he's from the Thin Blue Line Foundation and Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club. Never be ashamed to declare Jesus. It strengthens your manhood. As mentioned by your guests, others notice it and want to have it too.
100%.
Yeah, so thank you, Mark. That, you know, words are wonderful. I mean, and if we could just share this with everybody, and that's why this show is important. Share with somebody that you don't know who's struggling out there, and if they can just see a little piece of this, it may impact them. You know,
Absolutely.
Your words, Gilbert. You don't have to preach them, but some of your words probably change people's lives. And we have some guests sitting off in the forefront that are going to share their stories a little later on the impact that you made.
Right. Yeah. And it's about, like, in my opinion, true Christianity is about more relationship than it is about the rules and regulations and following the 10 Commandments. It's literally having a relationship with Jesus Christ. And so that's where true change comes from, because you can do the 10 Commandments out of, like, hey, it's the law, it's the rule, you know, these are all 636, you know, Mosaic laws that we have to live by. But
Wow.
How many?
630.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. I'd probably
Just
be
quoted that number. I'm like,
Yeah.
but you know, the thing is that the law was never meant for us to, like, you know, hit other people over, you know, the head with like a stick. It was always meant for us to look at it and reflect upon ourselves how we fall short of being worthy to go to heaven and spend eternity with God. And so when we realize that we can never live up to these measures, that's where Jesus Christ comes in. But instead, sometimes what Christians do is say, hey, you know what, here's all the laws, and you over here are not living up to these laws. And we constantly tell them, you're falling short, but it was never meant to be that way. It was for us to look at it and evaluate ourselves and know that we fall short and that we need a Savior in order to accomplish these things, because we can never accomplish them on our own.
Wow.
That was deep.
Now I know why you're a mentor, because I'm inspired.
Deep. I'm like,
I'm
ooh.
inspired.
You ain't really heard that at Catholic Church, have you? You didn't get that sermon at Catholic Church.
No.
Yeah, I've
No.
never been.
Yeah. You know, faith and scripture and everything else comes from the soul. It comes from the heart, and it doesn't have to come from a man on an altar. It doesn't have to come from a church on every Sunday. It can come from your best friend. It
Absolutely.
can come from your brother, your sister. It can come from anybody. But you know, like we say at the end of the show every week, is if you can be anything, just be kind. So if you're kind to somebody, truly kind to somebody, and use your heart, they will feel that without you even saying a word. You know, because it comes from your eyes, it comes from just your aura. You know, and if you truly believe that, and you truly show people that, it's going to come back. They're going to feel it, and they're going to change.
Yep.
I agree with that.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, TK, I know you've been following faith for a long time, and it's brought you to amazing places, but it hasn't changed you. You know,
I've got a great wife, number one, but that kind of keeps me reeled in. But even in my own church groups and men's group that I do weekly, and you know, I tell them, like, look, I grew up in the '80s, and I lived basically an '80s rock video pretty much my entire life. You know,
which rock video?
All of them. So you know, yeah, it was
crawling across
fast.
the top of the
It's
car.
fast and furious. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
We're not going to
100%.
take it anymore.
But it's, you know, it was a life, you know, fueled sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and you know, chasing that, you know, brass ring, and you know, thinking that, you know, this is where I wanted to be, right, from a celebrity standpoint, and you know, finally just got to a point where, like, man, this is crazy and nonsense. And you know, I've worked with professional athletes and celebrities for over 20 plus years, and you know, I've been around the excess, and you know, and I mean, it's everywhere, and you just, it's an emptiness that you're kind of chasing, I guess, to say the least. And then, you know, my wife honestly probably reeled me in about 3.5 years ago, and was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Like, you know, and we were kind of like Gilbert said, we were checking the box. You know, you go to church every Sunday, you check the box, you kind of, you know, she grew up in a Catholic church. It just depended on what weekend I was at, you know, if I went to Catholic church or, you know, Pentecostal church. So I had to, you know, both extremes, you know, whether depending on which side of the family I went. And, you know, and like, kind of like Gilbert said, you know, it's not about church, it's about the relationship. And that's where a lot of people miss it. They go to church, but they don't have any relationships with the people in church. They don't get involved with church. They don't, you know, again, honestly, just get involved. And that's kind of what I've done over the last 3 years, is like, you know what, let me change my style a little bit. Let me be a rock star within these walls and have fun and enjoy and see what I can do to help people. And that's kind of where everything really changed around, even for me. I mean, I've been overly blessed with the people I know, and man, I probably should have been in jail 100 times or dead, you know, 1,000 times. But, you know, the good Lord had more plans for me than, you know, letting me stop at that. But, you know, if you look at all the people in the Bible, man, honestly, they're all losers that most people wouldn't even be hanging out with nowadays. I mean, truly, I mean, Moses killed he killed a Hebrew and buried him in the sand, and, you know, Moses a murderer, and you start just going down the list from King David to everybody, right? And Jesus was the only one that was sinless, and, you know, again, thank God for him, because, you know, we wouldn't have an opportunity without it. I mean, it's just, the more you study the Bible, you're like, man, what is going on with these people? They just can't figure it out. But we're kind of the same way as.
And it depends on what
people.
testament you read, I guess, right?
Yeah,
I can't
both of them.
read
Oh,
it.
let me
So
tell you what,
hard.
every one of them, all the way from Genesis through, they're like literally, you know, from the Egyptians being taken out of slavery, and I mean, they just kept going back, over 400 years, just back, before they even got to the Promised Land, right? So I mean, it's just like, and a lot of people don't realize Moses didn't even he led them to it, but didn't get in the Promised Land. So, you know, sometimes your journey with God, you know, I have great goals in my life and great expectations, and I wake up every day because I know who my Father is. And it's like, this dude part of the Red Sea for Moses, he'd do anything for me as well, as long as I give back properly, in what he gives me, it's not an all take, it's a give.
Right.
Right. And again, with the things we do, and my wife and I, and people that we're surrounded with, like you guys in here, that's the whole focus. It's not really like, what can we get? What can we do to help other
What we
people?
can
And
give.
that's really where, again, even with the celebrity game, as you know, I'm talking about Miss Pam. Even after you called me, I talked to her, and she was very appreciative that, I reached out and said, hey, what's going on? And we had that conversation. And, what people don't realize is, when they look at me on social media, it's funny because they probably think I live in about 10,000 square foot house and drive a different Ferrari every day of the
don't?
week. No, unfortunately, not quite there yet. But but that's what people say. I can't tell you how many people come up to my wife and I and they go, "Oh my God, you guys have the perfect marriage. You're just so sweet." And we're looking at each other like, man, people only really knew. But that's what people don't understand is that every single person is going through something.
Yep.
And the thing is, what I tell people is like, I would probably be more worried if you weren't, because that probably means that the devil's already got you, or you've already strayed off the path, or if you're not really going through anything, you're probably not in a good position, because it's only when you're going through things that's because the devil is trying to derail you. And where does he derail you? It's in between your ears. That's where it starts, right?
Yeah.
And then he
that's
gets
where
you
most
off.
of us have the issue.
100%. That's where it
Yeah.
all starts. But for
That's where it all
everybody, it's
starts.
doubt, it's fear, it's anxiety, it's anger, it's you name it, right? But that's where it starts. And then if you're not careful, it will go right down 18 inches to your heart, and then you're in a bad in a bad spot, right? And the thing about God is He loves all of us. He's going to reel us in one way or another. Right?
Well,
When you have Jesus, it doesn't matter. Like, I've strayed so many times. He's reeled me back. He's blessed me. What I asked for, I get it. And then here I am off again. He reels me back. And it's, about 3.5 years ago, I finally said, I don't want to be reeled back anymore. Like, let me just stay here and be
Stay here.
locked in and just stay where I need to be. Let me get within my own walls, right? And just stay right here. And then let me eliminate temptations by not being around the temptation, right? And it's been a blessing for me and my wife, honestly. Probably the best 3.5 years out of 25 years. We've had a really good marriage, honestly. But again, like all marriages, everybody don't get along, and you go through everything. And honestly,
that's
the last
human
3.5
nature.
has been awesome, yeah. And a lot of it's because of me. Kind of like Gilbert said earlier, you got to fix yourself before you can fix anybody else. And that's what I did. I took a deep dive, stepped back, and said, okay, yeah, there's some things I don't like about TK that I need to get fixed.
See, I'm right there. There's a couple of things you brought up, and I just want to focus some of your words. When you said you grew up in the '80s, right? You were chasing that gold ring, right?
Oh, I wanted to be on the plane with Van Halen and travel the world and be like, let's go.
But it was emptiness.
Yeah.
It was emptiness. Now you're chasing that same dream, but you're giving it back, and now you're full.
Yeah.
So take it from TK. When you look at something with expectations of getting rewarded, you're not going to win, right? So you have to just give back, and it's going to fill you up. And believe it or not, when you get filled up, that is the best win ever.
100%.
Right.
And we did. I've done that my whole life too. But again, it was always a little bit more of like, hey, I love helping people. I love doing stuff for people. I've always done it, but I've always been a little bit more like, just so. Again, just even my wife and I are talking about it with a group, and it was like, when we got married, my whole passion was to support my family. So get the corporate job, work my rear end off. That was where I went. And then from there, I started being overly blessed with moving up my career ladder very fast and at a very high level and making a lot of money, and then work with professional athletes, celebrities on the same. And now I'm standing on the other side of the VIP rope, partaking in all that and doing everything there. And then ego came in, because everybody kept telling me how great I was, right? And then from ego, selfishness came in.
Everybody does that to Pitbull all the time, man.
I can
And it's
relate.
like
Yeah.
how great she is.
Yeah. And then selfishness came in, and then it started being more about me than anything else. And, I was unhappy because I didn't feel like my wife was giving me enough attention or this or that. And then it was kind of like, man, hold on a second. Like, I'm so overly blessed. I can't even see the forest for the trees. And I just kind of had to just park the bus and really do a deep dive on me. But when it comes to our veterans and first responders, and just, I don't care if you're even anybody out there, if you're on that fence post where you're really feeling like your life is not valuable, I can promise you it is, because you're born.
Right.
Like you have a 1 in 4 trillion chance of being born if you do the odds. Somebody can Google it right now. It's 1 in 4
I
trillion.
don't know, but you
looked.
two are both like. I guess you follow faith and follow God. You're mathematicians. 656, 18 inches
I
down
know,
to the
I'm
heart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a numbers guy,
a
so,
math-
you know, numbers is where,
No one told
like
me it
this
was
young
gonna be
man over here,
math.
I'm already
numbers is what fills your count
I
up.
just
So,
nod and smile.
but yeah, I mean, that's the reality of it, right? Is, you know, in going back and looking at it, and it's like, man, like, how do I know you're important? You're born. Why are you don't think you're important? Because it's between your ears. Because the devil, demons, whoever is, whatever you're partaking in is telling you're not important. And a lot of that comes too because our veterans, our first responders, and just people in general now are being over-medicated. And there's so many different chemicals in people's bodies nowadays that also throws them off. And then you self-medicate with alcohol, weed, heroin, whatever at that point, cocaine, on top of all these medications and pills that you think are supposed to be good for you because doctors are giving them to you, and man, you're just completely out of control mentally upstairs, right? And then it doesn't
Anything
take but one
mind
bad
alter-
night, and that's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Anything mind alternating is gonna screw you up. It's gonna make you worse. When I fell down the rabbit hole just 3 years ago, there was alcohol involved. I probably wouldn't have went over that limit and had a SWAT team on my front lawn if alcohol wasn't involved. So you have to watch and curtail what you do. And
Did they get a video on that by
I'm
chance?
like, I need to know more about
Is
this.
any of that on YouTube by chance?
Oh,
With
that's
the
on.
SWAT team in your
I
front
got
yard?
it. It's on my ring
Oh,
cam.
yeah, let's post it.
As a tank pulled up on my front
I haven't
lawn.
quite had that yet,
Were
but
you
okay.
driving
Yeah.
the tank, or like, I'm just kidding, you didn't steal a tank, did you?
No, you didn't know about that, man. I walked out my front door after I went down a rabbit hole to a SWAT team and a tank on my front lawn and 27 snipers in my trees and red dots all over me. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I'll tell you the story. I'll
And
tell
you
the
said, "Hold
story.
on, let me go get my wife." You got the wrong person. Let me get her out here for you
I don't know
guys.
if bringing Tiggers out any better.
Yeah.
Well, and then also with Gilbert and I, we go way back as well. I mean, it's kind of funny. Gilbert and I met over 23 years ago, actually, playing semi-pro football for the Fort Worth Rampage.
You know what? We're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
Let's take a quick commercial break, do some Lori Montoya, and let's hear about that story right after we get back from Lori Montoya of Biker Down.
I was in an accident 12 months ago to the day. I was driving on southbound Santa Fe, and somebody did a suicide left in front of me, and I T-boned him at 45 miles an hour. From that point forward, I don't remember anything for the next 18 days because I was in a coma.
She broke 9 bones, lacerated my spleen, put me in the hospital for 21 days. I remember none of it.
Biker Down was founded in 2011 after riding several rides over the summer and seeing tragically my friends get injured. And I felt that there was a need missing in Denver and in Colorado for an organization that helped the biker community. As you may know, the bikers are one of the most charitable entities out there, and what we do is provide them a variety of services such as medical equipment, financial assistance if necessary, and a plethora of resources to help them stay afloat during the hardest time in their life, which is their recovery. You know, my biggest hope is that I'll never get another phone call that a biker's gone down, but you know, that's not realistic. So I think my true realistic dream is that we can help as many as we can help, because it is life-changing for them. Certainly donating and volunteering your time, and even if you can't do that, attend our events. You know, attend our event and get a $20 t-shirt for your $20. You know, those kind of things make a big difference in a small nonprofit like ours.
Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. We are with TK and Gilbert. Man, we are talking about getting faithfully healthy. And, you know, when we talk about mental health, and we're going to get into this book that you brought a little.
Yeah, so one of my good friends he was in town last weekend and dropped a bunch of them off. But yes, phenomenal book.
We'll talk about this in a minute. But, you know, we talk about getting physically healthy, you know, mentally healthy, but here it's very important to get faithfully healthy, spiritually healthy, because if you don't have all these components, and you're a big physical guy, you do all the nutrition with Verve and everything else, you know that if one thing is out of balance, it's going to set everything else off of balance.
You know, the hard thing is, and Gilbert knows because he practices it every day as well. It doesn't matter what you're doing in life, whether it's your finances, whether it's your marriage, whether it's going to church, working out, whatever. To be successful in anything you do and everything you do, it takes so much discipline and sacrifice. And that's why, marriage, it's actually easier to get divorced than it is to get rid of a business partner. Right? Yeah. So it literally is. Like, if you've ever had a business with somebody and that business breaks up, like like a divorce is just like, see you later, and you're still dealing with this person for 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road.
Right.
And
I'm still dealing with my ex-husband after 8 years. He's still
well,
child support.
Luckily you're not. Some people are unlucky in that boat as well. But but again, it's every day. And literally, my wife sometimes we were laughing about, because I literally have a list. It's almost the same list every day coming out of the gate at 5 a.m. on, meditating, praying, reading, doing what I do before I even leave the house to go exercise, right? But it's kind of like I have to stay on this list. And that's the thing, when times are bad, what does everybody do? They usually go to God, right? And they're praying, help me out, get me out of this mess, da, da, da. And then God answers a prayer, and then you quit praying because now things are good.
Right.
And somebody had said the other day, like, when things are good with God, that's when things are good with you, that's when things are good with you and God. And I'm like, that's kind of not really that right, because most people, when things are really good, that's when they drift away from God, right? And then God has to reel you back in. Right, when you're his child, right. It's just like raising kids. When you give your kid just enough rope that you're gonna have to reel them back in, right? Because like, man, this kid just and we've all had those kids. I mean, I've had 3 of them that you're like, I don't know what's this. Take after their mother. They don't, they don't know anything. So you got to reel them back in. You're giving them love, but you also got to keep that discipline. Yeah. And that's what God does. And it's kind of like, man, I'm that hard-headed kid, and I'm just trying to not have to go through the discipline anymore. Just tell me what we need to do. I'm going to stick with you, good and bad. But even as things are going good, I still need to make sure I'm on my list, right? Because I don't want to let my own mind get me off because things are so good, and then I become undisciplined. Does that make sense?
That makes 100%. Mm-hmm. And when you take a deep dive into yourself, and most first responders, veterans, we are scared to death to look inside us.
100%.
We are scared to look at our faults. We are scared to look at our inner sides, and it's when we can do that, it releases everything, and we can become disciplined.
Well, then you can fix things. You can't fix things if you don't know what the problem is. Now, if you keep lying to yourself that I'm not the problem, right? Mm-hmm. But everybody on the outside of you is going, you're the problem.
Right.
Right? Nope, I'm not the problem. It's very hard to stop and take that, look in yourself and go, yep, you know what, it really is me. But you can't really help yourself until you do that. And I had to do it too. Like I literally had to go through it myself. And, for 20 plus years, 25 years, we've been going to Christ Chapel. 20 of them I'm going to Band of Brothers. I'm going to go to this men's group. Not until 3.5 years ago when I finally went. And then, my wife was begging for me to go to this marriage thing called Re-Engagement at Christ Chapel. I would never go. Now that our marriage is really good, I was like, let's go look. And then when we, now we're talking about, we're communicating, which is another big thing. And everything you do is communication, whether it's your relationships or your wife or whatever. But once we started looking at that, she's like, I don't know if this would have worked for us years ago. And I go, it wouldn't have, because I was the one who was going, there's no way I'm going to that, because I know exactly where all the fingers are being pointed. Like, I know exactly where the problem is. I know exactly why we're having these issues, and I'm not dealing with this deal, right? I'm avoiding it, right? And so, again, no matter what you do, just like your radio show, just like podcasts, just like, it's just so much discipline, and it's honestly exhausting. It really is. And I tell my wife, like, I don't know how this almost 80-year-old president of ours, who I love, who's gassed up on, I don't even know, 20 Diet Cokes a day, sleeps 4 hours a night, and, like, playing golf, doesn't miss a wink. And he's not taking Adderall or anything else to keep himself
It's
going.
his
I'm like,
passion
I don't
and
know.
love.
That's what it is.
I think it's his passion and love for our country.
Well,
that
he's,
keeps
and
him-
again, he's dedicated in everything he
And
does. He
dedicated,
knows,
yes.
like, in business, I have to do these things to be successful here, you know, and again, so again, let me make a cheat sheet every day. Just go write down my cheat sheet, make sure I don't miss anything, make sure I'm staying on target. And again, good or bad, I'm staying on the sheet because it works, right?
And that's the hardest thing, Gilbert. I mean, you want to add into that. Discipline is, one of the main things. It's probably the hardest thing to do to get into a regiment of every day. All right, so today I'm going to sit down. I'm going to pray. I'm going to journal. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to start my day. And it's like filling up your car at the gas station before you leave for work and get on the road. You don't want to get on the road with an empty gas tank and go, shit, I got to stop for
Right.
gas now.
Right.
But if you become disciplined and say, all right, I got to stop for gas, I got to stop for this, and then I'm going to get on the road, the travel, that journey is that much more peaceful. Mm-hmm. Right? And you're not constantly looking at your gas gauge going, oh my God, my light's
I
on.
do. I go, it says I had 35 miles left till empty. I'm good.
Well,
I can
Gilbert
get
and I,
there.
we talk about it. I mean, Gilbert and I, we've had conversations ourselves, and like I said, it goes way back, right? I wore an old jersey from 23 years ago when we played semi-pro football, but
He
back,
told me that's how you guys met. He told me how you
yeah,
guys met.
he was my number one receiver. I was QB number one, and he was my number one receiver. That when I was running for my life back there, I'm like, where's 13 at? Because he was a across the middle guy,
Just throw
and
it.
he was always doing the drag routes, and he was always my outlet. So it's like, oh my God, where's Gilbert? Because I've got 4 guys chasing me down right
How
now.
long ago was this?
23 years.
And have you guys been friends since then? Or
Well,
you
we
guys
did, but
reconnect?
no, we did, but we had the Nokia phones back then, So if it wasn't like it wasn't like you could transfer your numbers or you save your
Text
data. So
messaging was like-
once you lose your phone, it was it, and we lost contact. And then probably 3 years ago, I was working out at 24 Hour Fitness, and all of a sudden somebody just came up behind me. It's like, where have you been at number 9? And I was like, what? Oh my God. And that's how we reconnected. And then we started, that's when we were like, give me your new number. So we started getting reconnected there. And then we had the celebrity game we did in 23. He came, but at the same time, he was starting his path down the acting career and doing, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And he was doing with The Chosen. And then, this year I was like, dude, you've done enough and been in enough stuff now. Come get in part of the celebrity game so we can also help it involve his brand. And as you know, you've been there. There's so many different people there from TV and movies, and there's producers that come that don't play, and directors, and it's like, come and meet all these people because you never know. Because it's always about relationships, right?
And that's a great story because Pat, God put you back in His presence for a reason. Paths cross for a reason. I truly believe, we don't meet by accident. We're not here today because we all just chose to be here. Somebody put us here. Somebody said, "There's a reason." Maybe not be we're gonna know now, but we will know later on what the reason is.
Well, we had a 20-year hiatus, and I mean, literally at the gym, our workouts went right down the hill because we were like just started gabbing, right? And so the workout was pretty much done at that time because they're like, oh my God, that's my boy, and where you been, and how's your family, and so we spent the next hour pretty much catching up. And then it's like, okay, well, God, now we got to get out of here now. And so, but yeah, then we were like, great, we're gonna stay in touch. And then again, back and forth. And the thing is what Gilbert's talking about from a mentorship. As you know, I did Big Brothers Big Sisters as well for a long time. I got Big Brother of the Year, and with children. For a child to become a man, it must first see a man. That's the Odell Long from Big Brothers Big Sisters. That's his thing. But if you go to Tony Robbins' success, how Waking the Giant, like that book's probably that thick from the 90s. I'll give you the whole quick of it. It's you cheat. Find somebody who's doing what you want to do and cheat. Go find that person, talk to them. Hey, like I know Gilbert's the same way. He gets a lot of calls a day of people going, hey, I'm here. I'm trying to get here. Or I'm dealing with this. And a lot of times people will round about it, right? They'll kind of give you some issues trying to get to the Christ conversation, right? On how do we get to that? How do I help get my marriage here? How do I help? And luckily for me, I felt it so many things, so many times. You know, I literally, I kid you not, I'd call my wife right now and text her. We were texting back and forth. I said, you just don't know how thankful and grateful I am that over 25 years you never threw in the towel. I never heard her say the word divorce. I did hear her say, you know, where's my gun a few times, but she never said the word divorce. But, you know, the thing is, like, she is such a trooper because she stuck with me through the good, bad, and ugly, right? And I told her, like, I'm in debt for you forever. Like, she probably saved my life and saved our marriage and everything else because, like, man, I was just not in a good place. And, you know, on the outside, everybody would think TK's, you know, he's
Doing
spotless.
great.
Man, inside and what we were dealing with behind the scenes, it was just train wreck coming. And again, it was like literally like, I got to pull this into the station, get myself fixed, and then work on everything else from there. And then, again, it's been 3 years of doing that, and every day still a new day of doing it right. But Gilbert knows with Christ, you know, we wake up every day with great expectations. I do.
Absolutely.
Like when I buy a lotto ticket, I'm not mad that I didn't win the next morning. I'm literally confused. I'm in confusion. Like,
You gave me the numbers.
yeah, like, hold on a second. Like, wait a minute here. Like, we bought a ticket here, God. Like, what's going on? Where's the 250 million jackpot I thought we were going to hit? Like, I went to bed last night thinking we were done. I already got my new Corvette picked out. I already know what on vacation, what island we're buying. Like, hold on, what happened here? But, you know, the thing is, again, the more you can redirect your gifts to glorify God.
God don't need a Corvette.
No, he don't need a Corvette.
You don't need a Corvette.
That's when he pours the blessings back on you. And the more he pours on you, that's the more you got to pour back out, right? But again, a lot of people you're getting blessed, and then you're like TK, and you're like frogs in boiling water, and you kind of forget being disciplined. And now I'm off on a road that I shouldn't be, and God's reeling me back in.
Well, you definitely give back, and the Celebrity Softball Classic shows that with the smiles and the happiness on all of our first responders and our veterans' faces that are out on that field. Because even if you do it for one day, even if you change their perception for one day, right?
It just takes 5 minutes for most people. And it's
Right.
not just them, it's the fans, as you know. I mean, like
Yep.
I said, you've been out there several times.
Yep.
The fans are having a great time, everybody who comes in for the whole weekend. And that's what I always tell all the celebrities when they come in. Friday night and Saturday pool party, that's your time. That's for you. Come Saturday night at the game, that's for the fans.
Yep.
Like, that's when it's showtime for them, be over there signing autographs, making sure they have the best time for their $10 or whatever. Most of them get in free, but for whatever they come, however they get there, like, you know, make sure they're having the best time, right? Yep. And everybody does a great job in playing their part and having fun. And again, Gilbert's been out there a couple of years, and I can't tell you how many new friends and relationships and people he's met, and how much he's grown. And Gilbert was instrumental in bringing Catherine Lidstone, who is plays Mary on The Chosen, Lazarus' sister Mary.
Yes, that's the little girl with the black hair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolute sweetheart. My wife, you know,
sweet
she was a
young
little,
lady.
didn't know what to expect, kind of came on her own. I didn't have a handler with her. And, you know, I just said, look, when you get to hotel, you know, we'll be downstairs, give me a holler, and come down and sit with Jessica. And she just hung with Jessica. And I mean, now she's family, right? And she'll be back this year again. And we were literally texting back and forth yesterday, and she can't wait. And same thing with Jordan Ross, who plays Little James on Little James, right?
Yeah, Little James shows.
I always get Little James and Little John from Robin Hood mixed up somehow. It's always
James.
a couple of people told me a couple times, like, I think you're talking about James in the Bible, not Little John from Robin Hood. I'm like, yeah, I always get those mixed up.
Speaking about people from The Chosen, Jeffrey Gray reached out to me today.
Mm-hmm.
He's told me to give you his say hello.
Great guy.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah,
He's got such a story too. Why he went from
Yeah.
400 pounds to being lean
Yeah.
and mean like he is
Yeah.
now, and he's
Yeah.
doing
He was
great and being
walking
on a
He
lot
was
of
out
roles.
walking.
and-
He was
Yeah.
out walking
Yeah.
the bridge today.
He said he'll be
And we
back
want to say
tomorrow.
thanks to you guys too, because you guys are setting up a motorcycle ride to help raise money for a celebrity
Yes.
game this year, and we'll give out tickets who get involved with that. And we're trying to figure out, you know, if we can do a couple of these. And you know, I owe your guy a phone call. I'm trying to get a hold of him right now, actually, as we speak. So once we get that locked down, but
It'll be good.
I mean, we have people.
Multi-state.
You have
Multi-state.
so many great fans that tune in this show, and so many great patriots. I just want to also say thanks to all of them, because it doesn't matter if it's $5 donation, $10. You know, every time I'm on this show, literally, I kid you not, when I tell you, thousands of dollars come in small donations. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I know
Awesome.
it's from your peeps listening in, going to celebritysoftballclassic.org. If you're wondering, most of you guys probably already know because you're always donating anyway. But if you're in the DFW area, you can get here all you got to do is give John a call, and we
Yeah.
got tickets for you for the game, 100%. So
That's coming up
on
in
us,
October.
October 4th.
In October.
Yeah.
So Gilbert, let's jump onto you, man. I mean, with
Okay.
celebrity, the celebrity softball, the Chosen, but let's get into the mentoring and what is this? What is? I mean, it's not like you don't get paid for it. It's not a full time.
No,
it's just a spiritual thing, right?
Yeah, it's a calling that God has placed in my life that I did not ask for, right? I mean, it's literally you know, like I said, me living a life the way that I feel should be led by biblical principles, and then other people seeing that and then asking me, you know, would I consider mentoring them? And then I always tell them, hey, I will mentor you, but I want it. If it's successful, I want it to turn into a discipleship. And the difference between a mentorship and a discipleship, to me, at the very least, is a mentorship is like, hey, I see that, you know, you're successful in this area. I want to learn something about you. And, you know, I'll call you, you know, once a week, you know, meet with you once a month, you know, and I'll bounce
Sounds like a
some
PO.
information, right? Yeah. So that's kind of a mentorship, is just having access to somebody. But a discipleship, in the way that Jesus did it, is that you give them full access to your life, right? So if I'm going out to the movies, you're invited to the movies. If I'm going to the celebrity softball game, you're invited to the celebrity softball game. Whatever it is, I want you to have full access to my life, so you can see the things that I tell you to do in certain situations. I want to see you. I want you to see me operate in all these scenarios and see how a godly
Like a
Christian
training
man
program.
should work. I mean, right?
Like, it's almost like a training
Because
program.
A lot of times people will say, hey, this is what you should do, but they don't do the same thing that they say, right? But
Right.
a discipleship is giving somebody full access into your life. So anybody that I mentor, I always invite them to anything that I do. You know, and they can't always go, but they're always invited, right? And I want
also
them to
hold
have
them
full
accountable
access.
when you're working with them, right, on their
Absolutely,
part, right?
Yeah.
But even just, you know, not to brag on my number one over here, he called me last year before the game, and he was like, hey, what do you think about can we invite the extras just to come hang out for the weekend?
From the Chosen, yeah.
From the Chosen. I was like, dude, 100%, bring it, like, get the word out. They can all come to Friday night party. They can just come enjoy, you know, and they were so appreciative. I can't tell you how many of them came up and were talking to me, and they were telling me what part they played. And I don't even really remember the weekend, to be honest with you. But
Well, you're all over the place.
I mean, it's
man.
I mentally.
That's a lot to do.
I'm kind of like Hangover, going back through my phone, looking at pictures, going, "Oh gosh, I didn't even know I got a picture of me." And oh, cool, you know, because it's just so fast paced for, you know, literally about 72 hours nonstop, and it's just so much fun because it is a family reunion. But again, Gilbert, thinking bigger, of like, what can I do to help my friends that are also on the Chosen, that, you know, I'm lucky enough, I know TK, and even though I'm an extra, I'm
Let
playing.
me share that.
Right. So so he came the year before, so he kind of knew the drill. And then this year he was like, dude, you're playing. And then a lot of the extras were like, Gilbert, how are you getting,
Yeah.
how'd you get in this deal? You know, hang on a second.
yeah.
And then, you know, there's only 500 extras, I think, that
Yeah,
would
I
love
mean,
to
at
play in the
least.
game. And then, so Gilbert was like, hey.
Plus,
I
you
know.
wanted everybody to see you get body slammed by Chaz.
Yeah.
He was a trooper on that too. He took one for the team on that.
Chaz put that video up the other day on Facebook. It was a little clip, and I was like, and you know, I was far away when you got body slammed,
yeah.
so I didn't really get to see the upfront. But then I watched it on a video. I'm like, oh man,
He didn't really let up that much, as much as he probably should have. But I did watch him body slam somebody else maybe a year or two earlier than that, and he accidentally body slammed him on the bat. So I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
land
that
on
was
the bat.
T-Ron.
Was
He
it
actually
T-
didn't. when
oh, he did T-Ron?
Yeah, what happened is T-Ron was batting. That was when we had the game at Globe Life, and T-Ron threw the bat down, and they didn't get it out of the way, and then when Chaz slammed him,
slammed
his
him.
back went right on it. So the pain you see in T-Ron coming off the field, like he's hurt.
real?
Yeah, it's real.
now correct me if I was wrong, but he was supposed to originally body slam Mike Kislak.
Well, no.
that's
Chaz was supposed to body slam. I think
Because that's a big boy to.
James
That's a big
James
boy.
Gowan.
I don't know if you're lifting up Big Mike. I don't know if Big Kiss is getting up, lift up.
He was supposed to body slam somebody, but then, but he's also supposed to body slam James Guana because he was going to eject him, right?
Yeah.
But then James actually got hit in the head by a bat, so he couldn't be body slammed.
Yeah.
And then so Chaz was looking for someone to body slam.
And he looked at you.
And he looked at me and said, "Hey,
I could do him.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know what happened until Chaz put that video out a couple of weeks ago, and I was just happening to watch a short clip of it. I was like, oh, you know, I never even got to see this, and I'm like, what's Gilbert doing? And then I literally called him. I'm like, dude, how'd you get in there? He said, oh, man, Chad's just like, hey, come here. I'm grabbing you. And okay, let's do it. And,
And
that's the kind of fun you're going to have at the Celebrity Softball. It is a great game. It's a lot of fun. Both teams want to win, but a lot of fun antics.
It was a good game
field.
this year. I mean, came all the way down to the last inning and last out. I mean, you got so many great, from T.O. to Jim McMahon was there this whole weekend. Yeah. And, Don Graves is getting to return 100 years old in May, and he'll be back again. Yeah. He's not slowing down. So, I completely expect him to be there again on Friday night giving out his Don Gray Patriot Award. So we got some really, amazing – this thing just keeps growing every year, as you know. This will be our 11th year. And I can't tell you how many big celebrities have already reached out, because when the celebrities put it on their social media, their circle starts going, dude, how did you get in that game? And they're all going to call, they're all going to call TK, right? So it's just expanding, and it's just going to be even bigger this year. And I know a lot of people enjoyed the fireworks afterwards.
Yeah,
and
that was amazing.
The one thing that you told me too, which I really love about this Celebrity Softball, is that every celebrity that does come pays their own way.
Yeah.
They want to be there for the kids, for the fans, for the mission, for the foundations. They want to give back, so they pay their own way.
Yeah, I don't pay. I couldn't afford them. If I had to pay everybody playing that game, I couldn't afford them.
And that's what makes it so great, because they're not being paid to be there. They're there because they want to be there. So every celebrity, everybody
you see on those rosters, they're coming on their own dime. Veterans too, everybody comes on their own dime.
And that's what makes this such a great event, because it's not like, I got to be here.
Yeah, there's no egos. There's no the walls are down. Everybody's having fun, and even Jimmy Mack. Jimmy. That's why
I got to interview him.
That's why I wear number 9. Again, I'm an '80s kid. He was my favorite. He's the punky QB, and it's kind of funny because we've talked. I bet him at several things, and I went and picked him up at the airport Friday morning after I went and did the stadium, made sure he was ready to go, and I went and picked him up, and of course, he kind of was fighting all the way on this deal, and I was like, okay, let me get him a 20-ounce Coors Light, so when he gets in the truck, we're ready to go. And I got me one too. And then I had him an 18-pack, and we get to the hotel about 11:30, and he's like, TK, what's the agenda today? And I'm like, well, we got the party tonight at 7, but honestly, I'm going to quick check the ballroom and then be truthful. I'm going to go to the pool and drink some suds and get some sun, bro, and disappear for about 5 hours. And he's like, I'll meet you there in 15 minutes. We're literally the only ones at the pool. And I think my high school buddies and their 2 sons that I've known my whole life, they literally came down probably about an hour and a half after me and Jimmy was down there. But it's probably one of the best afternoons for me personally. Like, we probably drank about 8 or 9 buckets of beer, and literally at 5:30 my wife was going, I can't tell you what you got to be ready and downstairs in like 45 minutes. Get up here. And but it was just sitting there, and we were talking about how soft NFL is today, and how many yards would you had today if you had the can't touch the quarterback like you could in the 80s. And he was like, not me. He goes, think about what Marino and Elway and those guys would have done in playing in today's game. Right. Like Patrick Mahomes and Brady, they wouldn't have had a chance against those guys in today's game. So it was just a fun conversation. But then by the time we got up there, Jimmy got the Don Gray's Patriot work. He does so much stuff in the veteran community, especially on the cannabis and CBD side, that nobody really knows because he doesn't promote it. He has his own brands that he's really pushing to help people get off these prescription meds. And NFL players too, because they're the same way. They get hurt, they have concussions, and doctors are going pills. And then we're having issues and losing NFL guys too, right? So, but yeah, I can't keep him away from it now. So he was literally like, bro, as soon as you know the date for next year, call me. And it's already locked in. He's coming back. And Terrell Owens, same way. It took T.O. a little bit to warm up because he didn't understand what
was going on.
He didn't really know because it's his first time, and who's going to, I don't want to, what's going on here, right? So after about second inning, I went by, I saw him kind of standing. I said, hey, dude, if you're not having fun, go home. Like, it's okay. Just go home. I'm like, but if you're going to be here, you might want to. I said, there's your Cowboy teammates you played with. Like, and I don't want to be that guy, but you're really not the biggest guy out here. Fame-wise, we got a bunch of them. Take a look around, bro. And everybody's having a good time, but you're, I don't know. And then he started getting up, signing autographs, and I didn't hear, but then afterwards, I had so many people go, oh, my God, T.O. was awesome. He was taking pictures with us. He was signing autographs for the kids.
That's what Pam was saying.
And then T.O. same way, like, bro, please make sure I get to come next year done. So, everybody, I would say probably at least, as of right now, 90%, depending on schedules. If schedules all fit, it'd be 100% from last year coming. And then we got a whole nother group of great people that want to come and play. That's even going to take this to another level with the celebrities coming in. So it's just going to be rock star fun as always.
And we'll keep you up to date on everything on the Celebrity Classic. But before we run, I don't want to run out of time because we do have some. I want some testimonials.
Okay.
For this is so important when we talk about faith-based, when we talk about mentoring, when we talk about a life change for the better. I want some testimonials from some of the people you brought. Some of the people
the guys that I mentor.
that you mentor. I want to hear from them. So we're going to hear from Glenn Lawson real quick, number 2, and then we're going to bring on some of your fellowship, right?
Jacob, David, and Kelly. Yeah.
All right, we'll be back.
Thank
right
you,
after
guys.
that.
The reason why I made the decision to found and open Glenn Larson Law is for one simple reason. Every single client deserves to have their voice heard, their recovery made, and most of all, the closure and the compensation that they deserve. It has been my personal mission and personal dedication to making sure that every single thing we do with every ounce of loyalty, honor, certainty, and absolute unity to make sure that our client's story is told every single time. This is why I founded Glenn Larson Law.
Me and Glenn go way back. We first met in middle school. We were in high school together. We also worked together in college, waiting tables our first couple of years of school. And so we worked in the service industry together for a few years. So that kind of kept our tight bond together.
At Glenn Larson Law Injury Attorneys, we are passionate about serving our clients by honoring their stories, their voices, and their recovery. Our firm is built on the foundational principles of honor, certainty, passion, unity, and loyalty. To achieve our vision, we uphold our loyalty to our clients, each other, ourselves, our families, and our clients' families and friends in every single thing that we do. We are dedicated to providing exceptional support and guidance, ensuring that every client's journey is respected and valued. With absolute certainty, we stand ready. Call us. We are here to serve you in your time of injury, to make sure that you receive the compensation, the closure, and most of all, that your story is told.
Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. As you can see, we got a broader audience right now. I mean, a little wide angle on the camera. I wanted to do some of Gilbert's fellowship and mentored men. We have Jacob, David, Kelly, and David. Hey, welcome, guys, to the 99% Radio Network. When Gilbert told me what he does for you guys and how he mentors you, it was inspirational. It was definitely inspirational. Let's start with you, Jacob. How did you get involved in this?
Yeah, so I met Gilbert through this group called Freedom, which he's the leader of, and just my dad said he was just a great guy. The group was already full at the time, and he said, "You need to go to this program. I'll reach out to him," and he made some space in his house.
Your dad told you have to go to this program.
My dad.
Were you making bad choices?
No. He just said, "This is
like you're going to obedience school."
No, but once I met him, I knew he was different than anyone that I've met, and I wanted to get to know him better, and I just spent a lot of time with him. And just outside of Freedom, I was like, hey, I really like the journey, because Freedom's only a 12-week program, and you can get a lot out of it, but there's so much more I wanted to learn about him. And the way he speaks about discipleship is so true. He invites us he already sent out an invite for his birthday party coming up, all of the special occasions. We're there, and it's felt like a family. And he just helped me grow in not only my faith, but he got me on the right course to where I was able to find my wife, to where I just can feel God working, and he helps me remember that he is working and to remember to go back to that.
Prior to meeting him and going along this journey, were you faith-driven or were you a little lost?
I had always had a relationship with God, but it wasn't always like Kelly talked about earlier. I would go out and he'd have to reel me back in, and then finally you found that point to where it's like, okay, it's time to stay and be consistent, because there are people out there looking at you, and you need to well, I want to be where he's at one day. And so I was like, okay, if I want to be there, I can't keep going out there because he's not doing that anymore.
So you feel the journey is definitely.
The journey has been, it's not something that comes easy. Like some people, they'll get into the faith and they'll be like, well, now I'm supposed to go out and every day is going to be a walk in the park. And it's just, days are hard. Days are really hard.
Well, like TK said before, it's discipline. And if you find that regiment and you're consistent with it, then it becomes your new norm, right? So if you're getting up every morning like myself and I'm drinking a cup of coffee and I'm drinking a cup of coffee, I know that's not really great for me, right? But if I start drinking orange juice every day or if I drink water every day, then that becomes the new norm. And believe it or not, then I don't even remember drinking coffee.
What do they say? It's like 20 days to get a new
yeah,
habit or something
yeah,
like that?
and it's
21
days, and that's not long at all when you think about it. When you think about it, so I'm glad this worked out for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And with discipline too, it's because getting into the Bible every day, wanting to read a chapter, it's not an easy thing.
No.
I mean, it's a very
I'm
complicated,
intimidated you just say that.
complex book. And I mean, knowing Gilbert, I can read it and I can go to him and ask questions. But he also taught me it's not about getting through that entire chapter. It's about just getting that little part in and getting that relationship going. I just met God. I know him deeper just because I read just one verse, just one small verse. You can get to really know him.
Great point. And Kelly, how about yourself?
I guess what I heard earlier talking about, not being an accident, how I crossed paths with Gilbert seemed like it may have been coincidental, but it didn't seem, looking back now, being able to look back is that God put our paths together. And that was really neat because where I was at, you were asking Jacob if he was lost. I wasn't lost. I was starting to seek. And it was really a blessing that Gilbert came into my life because he leads a freedom ministry at our church, which has been instrumental in all of our lives, I'm sure. And the multiplication that's going on through that, the lives that are being changed. But with Gilbert, what we see is a modeling. It's like he doesn't just walk the walk. He doesn't just talk the talk. He
Right.
truly is
Yeah.
walking the walk. And so when you see that, and then when he does include, and it's like we literally are doing life together. I hear him say that all the time. We do life together. And that's what we then do with the people that are in our small groups. And so freedom, it doesn't just become just a Bible study. It becomes a community of believers that are really just doing life together. And then when you have that community of people around and that multiplication takes place, you can really see the exponential life change take place. And it's really an awesome thing to watch and see.
Yeah, that's got to be a wonderful feeling. And when you say paths cross, I use that term all the time. Paths cross for a reason. And we are putting somebody's path for a specific reason. It's like you ever see an accident ahead, and it's like, well, I didn't lock the door. I didn't for that 1 second. That could have been me.
Yep.
Right. So when you cross paths in a grocery store, what are the chances? You're both in the same aisle at the same time, and
Both at the same gym.
or both at the same gym.
There you
at
go.
the gym at the same time. You get put in that place, and you may not know it right that second, or may not know it that week or that month, but later on you're gonna go, wow. And when you said it, it's wild when you look back and go, we met for this reason.
Yep.
That's why I'm here today.
Indeed. Indeed.
You know?
Yeah. There's things that I feel like God has allowed me. He's worked through me in a way. He's allowed me to be basically a mouthpiece or an instrument for his good. And those things have happened because I crossed paths with Gilbert.
Yeah.
And
that's why we're all here today, really. I mean, think about it. We're all here today because of TK.
Right.
Right? I met TK when we were doing the show a couple of years ago. He invited me, and now look at this family that has grown into.
That's how it
and
works.
then this year when I went, there were a whole bunch of people to interview, but me and you crossed paths on the field, and it clicked.
Yeah.
There's
Something there.
There's something there, and that's what brings us here today to spread this, spread a journey, spread a word, spread faith, and share it because it may be helping somebody.
Yes. Amen. Yep.
That I tell you,
Paying it
it gives you chills though when you
Yeah.
think about it. David, how about yourself?
Yeah, so I've known Gilbert for a little while now, a few years. I really took a liking to him when we went through Freedom about 3 or 4 years ago. We didn't even know he was in charge of Freedom at the time. And we go to the encounter at the time, and I just see him on stage, and there was just a presence about him that I knew that there was something there.
Light shining off his head.
Just
Just that glare was bugging my eyes out. Get off the stage!
Yeah, we'll go with that. But it was just the way he just his demeanor and just what he spoke and how he spoke it. You could definitely tell he was a man of true faith. And we just got to talking after that, and just having conversations here and there through Sunday mornings or whatnot. And then just one time he approached me, he's like, "Hey, I don't know what you're gonna say to this, but I would really like to be your mentor." And at that time, I really never considered even having a mentor. I didn't think it was something that I really needed. And at first I fought it. I'm like, you know what? Sure.
I'll get back to you.
I'll get back to you. And I fought it for a little bit, but then something inside of me was like, hey, it's time for a change. So I agreed to him. We meet once a month, or try to meet once a month, just a small get together, either a lunch or whatnot, and we just talk about life. We just kind of what's going on. Just having somebody to talk to makes a big difference in this world. Somebody that you can really trust, and really, no matter what you say, there's not going to be judgment. I feel like in this world today, there's judgments everywhere. You always have to be careful what you say. But Gilbert's kind of really brought to the fact that I can do what I want, say what I want, and there's not going to be any judgment there.
It's almost like a therapy program without the $50 bill at the end, right?
Well, that's cheap.
That'd be really cheap.
Well, like even TK brought this post-traumatic stress, and a lot of people battle post-traumatic stress, and I'm just going to read the title to you. It's called Project Enlighten. It's a modern-day Phoenix Rising, and it's written by Brian Lloyd. Check it out. I'm going to read the book. He just brought this book here, and it's the Phoenix Rising is just coming out of the flames, coming out of the darkness, and everybody should feel that. But where the hell was I going with this before I picked up that book?
So you said Phoenix, I thought about Harry Potter.
Did you?
I did.
So did my wife. I promise you that.
No, but you need that in the therapy. It's couch therapy. It's EMDR. It's kayaking. It's hiking. It's camping. It's hunting with soldiers, going out and doing hunting trips with like-minded individuals. Or it's a mentorship program. It's a church, and it's feeling the safety of being able to speak without judgment. Yes. And that's a huge thing, because a lot of us we're not transparent enough. We don't allow things to come out because we feel we're going to be judged, or the person who you are speaking with is not listening to hear, they're listening to respond. So sometimes
you surround yourself with better people if you feel like you're being judged every time you speak.
Correct. and that's another hard thing, because people have been in toxic groups, toxic relationships, and that it becomes the norm. They feel that that's a place of belong, but once they leave that, they're like, wow, there's a better world in front of me. So Gilbert, I commend you for what you're doing for all these guys, and the ones that aren't here today. And it takes strength, but it also takes compassion, love, and empathy. And I think that's, you have every quality about you, and there.
Thank you.
So how has your journey been, David?
Man,
much better since
definitely much better. I look forward to seeing Gilbert. I look forward to when we actually finally get a chance to get together. Just last year, we lost a friend due to a suicide, and it was just one of those out of the blue type situations. And there had been no way I would have gotten through all that without Gilbert. Just to have that friendship or that brothership of going through something like that, you really start to know who your friends are when you start going through stuff like that, and realize stuff. So. And I will say one thing that he has taught me that has gone more than probably he'll ever know is it's not about a religion. It's not about, we talked about earlier going to church and how we grew up, Southern Baptist, Catholic. At the end of the day, it's not about the religion. It's about the relationship. We can't, just because you go to church on a Sunday morning or go to a men's group, that's not going to get you saved, and that's not going to get you to heaven. It's the personal relationship that you have with your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and how that looks is different for everybody.
Right.
Whether you read a Bible in a year, or you read one verse every day where it's all about the quantity, not the or the quality, not the quantity.
You pray at church, or you pray at home. It's all
Absolutely.
Wow.
So
That's a, you know what? That's a mic drop. Boom. And a Gatorade
you
spill.
drinking?
But that's definitely a mic drop. Wow, that was, you know, if you're just tuning into the show now, that just wrapped up the whole show in those words, because that was wonderful, man.
What's
that's
your purple drink?
My little Gatorade,
Some haterade. in there.
little Gatorade. No, that definitely said it all, because, you know, it's not about sitting in church on Sunday. It's about the relationships you build and how you build them non-judgmental and open and honest and caring and just respectful.
Mm-hmm.
That builds everybody's soul. And, you know, we all battle. We all have our issues, financial, relationship, work, you know, whatever it is. But if you know that you're not alone, if you know that there are other people out there that are going through that same fight and they can get through it. And, you know, when suicide is a very big topic with me, it's a very big issue with me. We do whatever we can to try to let people know that you are not alone. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason for anybody to take their own life. It's a blessing that you're here. You woke up in the morning, your eyes open, now give back that blessing. All right? Your blessing is you opened your eyes and you're able to give those blessings away. Each day is a blessing, and you have to remember that. And if you can go through the day thinking that and feeling it and sharing that, you'll be a better person, and suicide thoughts will go out of your mind. Mm-hmm. You know, I tell this story every once in a while. I had a good friend who was going to take his life, and he had it all planned out. On a Saturday morning, he was going to go to the park, and he was in Florida, and he was going to take his life. And one act of kindness, he gets to the convenience store to go buy a Gatorade or whatever, an energy drink, and he was going to go to the park in his quiet place, and he was going to take his life. And some stranger opened up the door and said good morning, and it changed his whole perspective.
Yeah.
You know, he's still here today. He didn't kill himself. He didn't lose his life. And because of that one act of kindness. Now, that stranger will never, ever know that he saved somebody's life. He will never know that. And that's okay. Yeah. Right? We go through life, we go through the day, each day, changing people's lives, not knowing the outcome. But if you're kind, you know at least you did the better thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know?
That's good.
So, guys, I'm sorry, we got to get into the next segment, but listen, I would love to have you guys back soon, maybe before the celebrity softball. We'll talk about this even more, because this was a great topic, and I think a lot of our listeners, just looking through the cut. We got Big Mike on. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, let's see what Mike Kislak. Let your actions speak so loud, I don't need to hear your words. Do it for your feet, not your. Do it with your feet, not your mouth. I didn't have my glasses aren't on. Thank you, Mike, man, and it's so true. Mike's the same way. Mike puts out every day. He'll put out an inspirational message on Facebook, and it uplifts. I mean, just scrolling through Facebook, instead of getting all that drama, you know, say something inspirational.
Who cares about the halftime show?
Right, like Mike. You know, yeah, right. Mike will put that in, and I'll scroll through and I'll read it, and I'll read his post, and I'm like, you feel better when you read something positive than when you read something negative. It just sticks in your mind. So thank you, Mike, for your inspirational daily posts, because they do work. People are reading them and people are listening. You're changing my aspect. You're changing my day, even if I'm having a bad day. So I appreciate that. Guys, thank you so much for being part. Gilbert, are you going to be doing anything on The Chosen? You filming?
The Chosen is not filming right now. They're going to start filming here probably in the next month or so, and they're probably going to be filming more in Utah than they are here in the DFW area. But when they're here filming in DFW, I definitely plan on being a part.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So check it out. Follow us on. We're going to be bringing in the Mongolog in.
Now.
Yeah, now. We'll break for a quick commercial, and then we'll be back with the Mongolog. Stay tuned.
I was in an accident 12 months ago to the day. I was driving on southbound Santa Fe, and somebody did a suicide left in front of me, and I T-boned him at 45 miles an hour. From that point forward, I don't remember anything for the next 18 days because I was in a coma.
She broke 9 bones, lacerated my spleen, put me in the hospital for 21 days. I remember none of it.
Biker Down was founded in 2011 after riding several rides over the summer and seeing, tragically, my friends get injured. And I felt that there was a need missing in Denver and in Colorado for an organization that helped the biker community. As you may know, the bikers are one of the most charitable entities out there, and what we do is provide them a variety of services such as medical equipment, financial assistance if necessary, and a plethora of resources to help them stay afloat during the hardest time in their life, which is their recovery. You know, my biggest hope is that I'll never get another phone call that a biker's gone down, but you know, that's not realistic. So I think my true realistic dream is that we can help as many as we can help, because it is life-changing for them. Certainly donating and volunteering your time, and even if you can't do that, attend our events. You know, attend our event and get a $20 t-shirt for your $20. You know, those kind of things make a big difference in a small nonprofit like ours.
Never mind that shit. Here comes Mungo.
Hey, you guys caught me off guard, but fortunately I was ready to get things organized here. So, but keep me on my toes. So here we go. The U.S. Agency for International Development is being gutted by tech billionaire Elon Musk's cost-cutting organization in a shocking operation that was launched at President Trump's inauguration. President Trump's executive order freezing assistance, USAID website has been taken offline. Hundreds of contractors have been laid off, and employees are being out of their accounts one by one without notice. USAID provides humanitarian and development assistance abroad, primarily by funding thousands of governmental organizations, contract universities, foreign governments. According to the departments, Elon Musk detailed to the agency have read-only access to its sensitive $5 trillion U.S. payment system, and that no payments are rejected as part of the ongoing review. For decades, the United States Agency for Internet has been unaccountable to the taxpayers as it sums of money to the ridiculous and in many cases malicious pet projects bureaucrats with next to no oversight. Just a few egregious examples of tax dollars that are being wasted abroad include $1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in certain workplaces and business communities, $70,000 for production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $2.5 million for electric vehicles in Vietnam, $47,000 for transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for comic book in Peru, $2 million changes in LGBT activism in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, thousands of dollars for our nonprofit, which is linked to a designated terrorist organization, even after the Inspector General launched an investigation. Millions to Eco Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab in China, the birthplace of the COVID. Hundreds of thousands of bills that went to Al Qaeda fighters in Syria, funding to print personalized birth control devices in developing countries. Now, I can't even imagine what a personalized contraceptive birth control device. Do the condoms have personalized messages that read, "You all of my love, but I'm wearing this prophylactic glove"? Additionally, hundreds of millions of dollars spent to fund irrigation canals, equipment, and even fertilizer to support lucrative poppy cultivation in Afghanistan, which benefited the Taliban. Now, for every dollar that I earn, I pay taxes on that dollar. Then, for every cent over taxes that are used to buy something that of course I need, I pay additional taxes. This is only a very partial and incomplete list of the low-hanging fruit of wasteful spending literally been going on for decades. That I work hard for is going to these very important programs around the world. It warms my heart knowing that the Democrats are seriously pissed that we're putting a stop to these boondoggles. To some extent, I understand some of the money that we give to our allies around the world, but I certainly don't understand the level of waste that goes on behind the curtain. The ongoing effort to review the Treasury's payment system is not resulting in the suspension or rejection of aid to Treasury by other federal agencies across the government. In particular, the fiscal service is not payments or such as Social Security and Medicare to be delayed or rerouted. As much as the angry left would like for us to believe, panic and become, it's not affecting citizens who are in the system. Senator Warren of Massachusetts emerged from teepee long enough to post on X Doge's actions. She said, "Elon just grabbed the controls of our payment system, demanding the power to turn it on for his friends and turn it off for anyone he doesn't like. These Democratic politicians, some of whom are attorneys, should know how to use the judicial system. Why won't they find a sympathetic liberal judge to file an injunction against?" Now, soon after I wrote that last sentence, the Democrats did indeed find a judge that was willing to put a halt to the president and his cost-cutting efforts. We have equal branches of government, the judicial and the legislative branch. I guess according to these outraged senators, the branch has no power, and they can just use the judicial branch to stop his actions. Technically, it's actually the Supreme Court equal power to the executive branch, not just any court with the judicial system. It's Democrats did not use the court system to stop Biden control of the executive branch, but not in his own train of thought. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries out against Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency. They claim the world's wealthiest man is making unprecedented incursions into the inner workings of our individual and national security system. They claim that his unclassified access to classified information risks exposure to our operations and potentially compromises not only our own sources and methods, but also our allies and partners. The senator and congressman claim sources and allies stop sharing intelligence. They cannot trust us to protect information, and we will be less safe. Monix is a private international firm based in employee-owned company offers a variety of services with more than $1.5 billion in USAID. Their website is apparently temporarily down for maintenance. What this organization claims to do is primarily transporting pharmaceutical products all around the world to all the nations. Apparently, a very large portion of our tax money is allocated to the AIDS epidemic in Africa. Who knew the AIDS continued to be such a huge problem in Africa? What's going on there? Are they all having everybody? Is it possible that we're not being told the whole truth about not only $8 billion in the last 12 months, but the waste of money in the past fiscal years looks to exceed $17 billion. Monix alone. Germanics offers capacity building, social responsibility, knowledge management, performance management, and appraisal and services. What any of that means, nobody knows. Apparently, nobody has big enough balls to sound ignorant and ask. Some web designer put a bunch of phrases together and everyone just read through them as if they understood them all. When it comes to Germanic's record of performance regarding all of its shipments of any that were delivered, it's more than underwhelming. We're funded with U.S. tax dollars. 1% of the commodity delivered through this program and actually arrived on time to their destination. Can you record of success that low using U.S. to fund their operation? They continue to be one of the largest recipients of our tax dollars that has been identified so far. Could it possibly be that most of the money being laundered through the third, fourth parties and then back into the pockets of our politicians? They are so supportive of this waste group. Germanics also want hurricane relief in Haiti under the direction of Hillary Clinton. Construction projects in Afghanistan that were initiated and then discontinued after avalanche or left in a state of disrepair never be fixed. They have a long history of international aid programs started and stopped before completion, and money to come in from the government and into the line pockets of our politicians and their friends. The amount of dollars that we actually give this organization with investment is obscene. Hopefully, this is why the Democrats are so. With any luck, Elon Musk will bring the attention of the president and the media for all to see. Soaring government spending, budget deficits have brought fiscal responsibility and government waste back into the national agenda. One of the Democrats are in a state of panic that Musk is open the various books for scrutiny. Abuses in the system of theft of our the elected officials will continue to prop on the unscrupulous people's treasure. Many of these programs continue to, even though there is a specific stop date for these programs when Congress first approved. Most of them have gone beyond the way. Estimates show the federal government may spend $2.7 trillion in payment errors since 2003 on programs that have long since expired. Initially, I had to make this monologue a two-part effort. Just so much to report that I just couldn't get it all into one monologue. So much has happened at a rapid pace in Trump's administration that I just can't keep up. So I piled information of these short pages, and next week's will be a completely different new topic. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending upon your point of view, something happening that I'm moving on to something next week. And that, my friends, is that. Whiskey improves with age, and I improve with whiskey. My name is Mongo. Whiskey goes in and wisdom comes out. Cigars and I know things. Mongo out, and now back to you in the studios.
Still hear me?
Now I can hear.
I hate to say it, but a lot of that audio was coming. It was being disrupted. I think the deep state was trying to silence you about all the knowledge that you were bringing to our American citizens and all our patriots out there, and the good that Elon Musk is doing. Because man, it kept breaking up on the audio. So I think somebody was like filtering out every other word so that you couldn't get your point across. You kept freezing up.
Well, that's unfortunate because did do some last minute because, like I said, I tried to do, and then this morning I said, you know what, I can't do this. Cram it all into one part, and then before the show, going, oh, that doesn't sound. So I kept changing things, and then you go, and next, oh, great, here we go.
up here in the studio, but I hope our listeners were able to catch the majority of that, because it brings so much information. You know, us as Americans sometimes are really blinded by what our government has got us thinking and doing throughout the ages, right? And the current administration, Trump right now, with Musk and everybody else, is clearing the swamp. And a lot of people don't like it because they don't think it's the norm. But, man, the government has been running us ragged and stealing money from us for decades. And here we finally have a leader in charge that's going to, put an end to that, and we're going to live like a democratic society,
Going to be very transparent.
Yes, very transparent. So once again, man, Mongo, thank you from California. Do appreciate all the time and effort you put into the research on this, because it does mean a lot. It gets out, a lot of people are feeling the same way, and I'm glad that you bring it to us in the way that you do.
Ooh, that was a
maybe next week I'll try to read this while I'm broadcasting on the phone, a different room instead of the computer. Maybe that's the issue.
I'll walk you through. We'll put some headphones on you. You'll be fine. Enjoy that. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Log Cali. And I believe, man, they were putting satellites over his house going, you're not going to say this stuff about, trying to wipe him off the 99.
Knowing him, he probably has tinfoil on his roof.
Yeah.
Blocking it all.
Man, what a wrap up for a great show today. I do want to reiterate this book that TK had given me and given you, Project Enlightenment. It's a modern Phoenix Rising. It's written by a military veteran who is battling post-traumatic stress, and his name is Brian Lloyd. Brian Lloyd. I haven't read the book yet, but just
put a picture of it up on our thing too.
Yeah, just skimming through it, man. Just reading some of the paragraphs, very powerful. I'm gonna find out how you can get it and where you can get it. You probably can get this on Amazon. Probably. But we will definitely put a link to this book up on our site. I feel different after that show, man, right?
I feel like I just left church.
You feel like you left church, man. Gilbert and TK and everybody else and
the boys.
Jacob and David and Kelly. Look, I remembered their names.
You did.
Wow, so that they must have had an inspiration on me, man. Because I don't even remember your name half the time.
You got so many of them.
But it was impactful. It was powerful. So if you missed the show, if you missed the first part of the show, you can always play the replay on OBBM Network, any of our YouTube channels, or any of the streaming platforms. You can check out the replay, because it was definitely a very powerful show.
A lot of info in there.
Yeah. Inspiration.
As always.
It was good. It was good. It was good. And I see you got an autographed picture.
I did.
Look at that.
For my wall of fame.
So that's the second one. Frankie Fiala.
Third, I think.
Oh, third? Well, Frankie gave you his. Now you have that one.
And then, yeah. I'm going blank now since Mobster.
Oh, Larry Mazza.
Yes,
Larry
Mazza.
That's right, Larry Mazza. So now you got three.
What's my name?
Oh, you call me a fucking mobster. Well, Larry Mazza. Yeah.
And then I still need one from Louis.
Who?
Louis.
Louis?
Louis. My number one fan.
Oh, yeah.
For, what was it, Wasteland?
For Wasteland. Yeah. That's right. Louis will.
I know you're watching.
I will reach out to him and say, hey, I want an autographed picture.
Yeah. I'm starting my little collection.
You're going to put him up in your wall of fame in your bar?
I am.
That's very cool. That's very, very cool. All right. Once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning into the 99% Radio Network here each week on Wednesdays. We got a lot of great events coming up. We're going to be out in the field, beating the pavement, and making a difference in the communities throughout Texas and abroad.
And next week we've got Roll Call coming on.
Yes.
Next week. Got Roy.
Got
Roy from Roll Call.
Roy from Roll Call. And for those that don't know about Roll Call.
So Roll Call I got involved with. Battling Buddies are involved with him a lot. We help them raise money because they have a nice luncheon every month.
No, Mike, she doesn't have yours, but she will. If you want to come, if you want to come in next week with one, She would love to have an autographed picture of Mike.
Yes.
I got a picture of Mike. He first time a couple of years ago he sent it. He's in his uniform. He's in a Dallas Cowboy uniform. Yeah. He's uniform. And he's out on the field, man. Yeah, Mike. We'll take a pic. Pitbull wants a picture.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, roll call. They have a sit down luncheon every month for the veterans, and they do a nice presentation. It's a sit down served meal. It costs $10 per meal, but the veterans don't pay anything, so the fundraising that we do goes to help serve those meals. Then also in July, that's when the Battling Betties takes over and host a happy hour for roll call, because that's the only month they don't host their own luncheon because it's kind of hot.
Right.
So to get everybody out there. So yeah, we have the Beers and Betties
Very
in July
cool.
for roll call.
Very cool. Hey, homie and friends is on. Thank you, homie. Man, another guy who's out there every single day doing his thing.
He wants our autograph.
I know. Well, come on in,
You're
homie.
the first one that's asked me
we'll
that.
give you our autograph. But homie's out there with his group of guys, homie and friends, out on the bikes. Doesn't matter what type of weather it is. 6-7 places each and every weekend, collecting a little bit of cash for a special foundation. If you see homie, the guy with the famous beard, out at any of these Harley Davidson dealerships, any event, go throw him like $2, $3, $5, $10, whatever you can afford in his little satchel, because all that money goes to a great cause. I want to thank you again, homie, for everything you guys do each and every day of the week, man. He never stops. He never stops. He's always like, I'm stopping here for a quick one.
I know.
Just a quick one.
Just a quickie.
Stopping here for a quick one. But once again, hey, and if you loved our show, man, tune into Motorcycle Mayhem tonight. Tune into Laughter Saves Lives tonight. And tune into the Man in the Arena Life Vac. Go to lifevac.net, and you just may save a life. It's the best present you can give anybody that you hope they never have to open. Over 3,500 lives have been saved so far. Arthur Lee has done an amazing job with this invention. And we just got a bill here in Texas. It's in legislation now to put it on in every school and all the campuses. Mm-hmm. So until next week, man, if you could be anything in this world, be kind. Peace.